teammates, welcome back to Teaching with Tenia. In this video, I'm talking all about teacher salary and teacher budgeting because if you are going into the field of education, then you need to know how to budget your money. So let's get started. Told you ever that you should not get into the field of education because teachers don't get paid that much, or had a family member try to discourage you from going into the field of education because teachers don't get paid that much, I feel like those people don't know how to budget their money. Obviously, you've seen or know of teachers be in the field for 10, 20, 30 years plus and obviously retire. So they've had to make some type of money to be able to retire comfortably. So in this video, I'm giving roundabout numbers and estimate numbers to help you budget as a teacher. So let's get started. If you look at the average teacher salary last year for this school year 2021 and 2022, it's around like $66,000 give and take, because depending on your licensure, how many years of experience you have, it can vary, of course, and I'll talk about that later on. But for this video, I like to use even numbers. So we're going to use $50,000 as an example budget. Of course, first year teachers can make above this or below this, depending on your setting, or if you're in public, private, Christian, cyber school, like it literally depends. So $50,000 is nice and even, so we're gonna use that number. Let me be the first to tell you, $50,000 is not your take-home pay. Of course, the state, federal taxes will be taken out, usually if you're in a public school, along with taxes, depending on your insurance, if you have a high deductible, low deductible, or whatever your rates are for your insurance plan, because of course you could choose a high one, that's expensive, or you could choose a low one that's not as expensive and it'll be taken out of your paycheck. Of course, we all need healthcare, so depending on how you deal with that. That may include a dental, eye care, or a yearly doctor's visit just to make sure that everything's okay, like a checkup or to get a physical, depending on what you need at your school. Not to mention retirement. Either your district is going to take up retirement, or you can also add your own account depending on how you want your retirement to look like, because nobody wants to be working for years. So we have insurance, taxes, retirement, all that's going to be taken out probably before you even see your paycheck or see it hit your account. Speaking of health insurance, let me tell you, my eye, I forgot to tell you guys this. My eye, I had LASIK eye surgery over the weekend and my eye is completely fine. It'll be gone in 2 or 3 weeks, but I forget that I have this bruise on my eye because I no longer need glasses. So like I was saying before, all of that is probably about 30%, or it's a good general rule of thumb to leave about 30% for all that stuff, or budget in 30%. So if you do $50,000 times 0.3, that leaves you with around like $35,000, and that's more like your take-home pay, give or take, of course. Now, depending on if you are a first-year teacher, second-year teacher, whatever that may be, if your district allows you to spread out your paychecks, because let me tell you a secret, teachers don't get paid over the summer. Now, you can buffer that or actually teach summer school so that you can get paid over the summer, but that's a whole different topic. Depending on the district, you can decide if you want your paycheck to be all 12 months so that you are getting paid all 12 months of the year, or if you are a 10-month employee, you get paid those 10 months, but also you have to like budget for yourself for the summers or during the times you're not getting paid. That's a little caveat that not many people know about. Like, I thought I could just divide my paychecks however I want because it's my money, right? Not quite. In my district, first-year teachers cannot spread out their paychecks because we're first-year teachers, but hopefully next year I will be doing that as well. So give or take, you have about $35,000 as a take-home pay, and you can divide this by 12 or 10 like I just mentioned before. And for this video, we're just going to divide into 12 because hopefully your district lets you do that. And if you divide that by 12, it's around $2,915. So that's more like your take-home pay. The 3 biggest expenses for most people are their food, housing, and transportation. So I know your rent or mortgage or whatever, that may be around like 1/3 of that. So you probably want to divide like $1,500 for your rent. That leaves you with around $1,415 to spare for all your other bills or expenses. And then last but not least, your groceries. I like to budget $100 a week for groceries, so usually about $400 a month. And it's just me, so that could be more or less, of course. But I also want you to schedule out time for yourself, whether you like to go to coffee dates or go to lunch with friends or dinner with friends or your coworkers, just whatever fills you up. You are giving so much of yourself to your students and you need time for fun. And then, not to mention, like I said, the retirement. Again, if you want to invest in your own retirement account, then usually that comes out of like your discretionary income or whatever. There are some things you can do to increase your paycheck. For example, teaching after school programs like I do, usually they're like 1 hour or 2 hours after school, depending on your time, because of course, time is money. And then you can also teach like over the summer, for example. It may be actually increased pay because it's over the summer. You can also do clubs in school, like run a club. Maybe your principal could pay you for that, or just doing extra things that give the kids extracurricular activities and be like a sponsor or something to do with that. And then usually the rule of thumb is, of course, the more experience you have, the higher they will pay you, and depending on how you deal with your observations. So basically do the best that you can as a teacher, but also most of us did not get into teaching for the money. So it's more about the impact. Not to mention, you will spend money on your own classroom, so you may want to budget for that. I went ahead and started budgeting for my classroom, especially as a first year teacher. You need so many things. Of course, you can get donations and things like that, but you will come out of pocket for a lot of things in your classroom and probably won't get reimbursed. Of course, that's up to you. Like I buy my students Christmas gifts, and then I like to do fun Fridays. And I like to reward them for good behavior or making progress. But of course, that's totally up to me. And then you can make your own decision for yourself in your classroom. Hopefully that example was helpful in using actual numbers so that you can know what you're working with if you're going into the field of education. Of course, everybody should be a teacher, but like I said before, you have to be built for this. And if you are, you feel that calling on your heart from God, obviously it's there for a reason. So come on and join the education system. The most important thing I want you to get out of this video is that if you are on a teacher budget, like you will be more than okay if you budget your money correctly. Don't forget to comment down below if I missed anything or how you like to budget your money as a teacher, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.